Welcome to Roundhouse Roulette, a Walker, Texas Ranger podcast. Well, thanks for joining us as we recap and review one of the 200 existing Walker, Texas Ranger episodes, randomly selected by Roundhouse Roulette. I'm Evan Dalton, here with my brother Adam.
What's going on?
And fellow committee member, Mr. Bob Leahy.
They let him go on a technicality.
This seems like a recurring theme.
Sure is.
Well, yeah, of course, we'd like to thank you for joining us as we drop into, high-pressure world of committee meetings and darkened rooms. Of course, that means today we're going to be recapping and reviewing Season 2, Episode 17, The Committee, where a kind of deranged group of people gets together at night and has a pre-Zoom call, a conference call. But, of course, before we fire up our dial-up modem and make a collect call using 1010-220, join us as we pull up a seat at CD's Bar and Grill. Well, welcome, everyone.
Yeah, we're back at it here at CD's. And before we dig into the news and mailbag, what does CD have on tap for us?
It appears to be a Foghorn Hazy IPA from Jackalope Brewing Company.
In Nashville, Tennessee.
They seem to be, indeed. I don't have anything, it doesn't have anything presumptuous written on the can, so we're just going to go off that.
All right, we'll just go in. Let's crack these.
I did a bad pour, as always.
Oh, excellent. Well, salute, boys.
Yeah, down the hatch.
All right.
I like it.
Yeah.
Easy sipper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crushable, as they say.
Speaking of which, what's the ABV on this? Oh, it's 6. Okay, that's reasonable.
Keep it between the lines here for this podcast. For those who follow the podcast and are Walker, Texas Ranger fans, you probably heard the sad news that Michael Preece, director of over 70 episodes of Walker, Texas Ranger, passed away. We reshared our interview with him from a few years ago. He was super nice and mentored a number of other guests here on the podcast. Mignon Monroe, she talks about him in our interview with her, and also Sam Williamson as well, brought him into the fold, into the Walkerverse. So just a big career in the Hollywood Reporter. Actually did a whole article on him. We'll share up. Michael Preece, prolific Dallas and Walker, Texas Ranger, passes away at 88. Just what a life there. So be sure to go read that. And if you haven't, go listen to our interview with him. Just amazing dude.
Yeah, really interesting guy.
And super nice when we talked to him, too.
Right.
Yeah, you
Oh
think of like the people he's had to deal with, over the years of working in TV and
Right.
stuff. And just to be like, oh, these 3 yahoos want to have it wasn't a Zoom call. I think we just called him on the phone, right?
Yeah, exactly.
These guys want to talk to us, and he couldn't have been nicer about it. And he was,
I was in the middle of a power outage. I was calling on my cell phone by candlelight. Pretty memorable.
A candlelight with Michael Preece. Candlelight phone call. But yeah, our thoughts go out to him and all the friends and family here in the Walker, Texas Ranger community. So yeah, Michael Preece, awesome dude. So Evan, you mentioned this before we got off air, before we got started. And I was like, dude, no, man, we're going to get into this because there's something in this episode that I also tried to reverse Google search via image. And the only thing that came up, because I was like, I need to find one of these things. If I could find this thing, I would be on eBay in a second for one of these things.
Oh, I know. I was looking for you for your birthday. Do you, so we need to start a shared doc at this point. And actually, any patrons as well can send in things for us to ask about. We need some FaceTime with the prop master, because this is clearly something the prop master made, and it's incredible. So,
and we'll get into it. We don't want to say too much before we dig into the episode, but Roundhouse Nation, you need to hit up Scott Prop and Roll and tell him to get on this podcast. I sent out an email already, so I'll loop back. But
well, you got to do more than that. You can't just send out an email and wipe your hands. I mean, let's get on the horn with the guy.
You might as well send it on the back of a pterodactyl, bro.
What's an email?
You got to put pen to paper here.
You got to at least fax him.
I'm driving to Dallas. You guys can do this podcast.
Yeah.
That'll be a quick one.
Anyways, trying to find this prop via reverse image search on Google, Evan and I both came across this WordPress blog called Watching Walker Texas Ranger.
This appears to be a guy who's, in the gaming world. He's soloing it. He's trying to write his own take, synopses, reviews of Walker Texas Ranger episodes.
Yeah, it says one man's experience watching every Walker Texas Ranger episode. And the first link on the top is why?
Question mark, yeah.
I think we need to get into this. I've always had a fascination with bad movies as long as I can remember. It probably began with my dad making fun of any movie we would watch growing up, complete with weekly doses of MST3K.
Nice.
Okay. All right. This guy's in. So let's see here.
Just the last part, he says, and thus the adventure begins. One man watching every episode of Walker Texas Ranger ever made in order. Pray for me.
And then the next link is a drinking game. So, man, do we do that on this episode?
Too early in the day for me, guys.
He claims that this drinking game was found on brewthis.com.
Oh, it's not even his.
Have you gone to that link? What's that all
I
about?
haven't gone down that rabbit hole yet, but it says it helps to play this game, especially if you plan to watch multiple episodes of Walker.
So it's just like you take one drink if these things happen, 2 drinks if these things happen, 3 drinks. Chug your drink. So some of the examples. 1 drink. Anyone refers to Ranger headquarters.
Okay.
Slow motion jump kick. Fat man threatens Walker.
That happens a lot.
Chug your drink is Walker cries, Walker gets shot, or somebody lands a solid blow on him, which actually happened in this episode. And Walker walks away from a fight. So very rare.
Yeah, that's going to be
rare.
tough. Yeah.
Very rare. Nice. Well, yeah, I just love the timeline for this blog where it's like archives. It's just July 2012.
Yeah, I saw that too. So he didn't make it very far.
Yeah, I respect the commitment he had for a month on this. And if you're a listener of the podcast, reach out to us because this is awesome.
Yeah.
Respect Watching Walker Texas Ranger WordPress blog, which we will link to on our episode page for this podcast. But thank you, reverse Google image search. All right, well, we heard from, let's jump into the mailbag here. We heard from one of our patrons, a regular Rob. Evan, what is a regular Rob saying? Hopefully he'll become regular at some point.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, we're all pulling for you, Rob. Rob says, hi, guys. I've been following your show for a year now, and I love it. Condolences, Rob.
Sorry about that.
You guys rock, and I'm hoping you guys take requests. I know the show reviews episodes of Walker Texas Ranger at random, but I'm dying to hear you guys review Rise to the Occasion from Season 8. It's when Walker takes over a middle/high school, after the self-exit of a young student.
Ooh.
You guys will have a ball with how cheesy this episode is, even by Walker standards. It also has a song that will surpass Save the Life of a Child with how corny it is.
Oh, no.
This is the one where they like throw the crumpled up paper and he catches it over his shoulder and throws it back at the kid.
Is it?
Is
Yeah,
that
from
one?
like behind his back.
He's like a substitute teacher.
Didn't we watch that one though?
No, we haven't reviewed that one.
Oh, okay.
That's got to be this one. And I can imagine that one having a tailor-made song that's like brutal.
Oh, my gosh.
Like a fake hip-hop beat.
Yeah, how many times does Walker go into like a high school as a teacher or principal or whatever, man?
We haven't reviewed one, actually, right?
I think, no,
He
I
was
think we
involved.
have.
Remember there was a fight, the
Kids.
kids.
In the life of a child. That one he was in the school doing something.
No, they're actually starting to blur together, guys. I don't know.
We're going to should we start over?
I think we probably should.
Oh,
Yeah.
we haven't even made it to 100 yet, guys. Come on now.
Let's have a recap episode.
I mean, honestly, it's pretty impressive we've gotten to this point, and it's finally taken us this long to be like, wow, they're blending together.
yeah,
Yeah, this was the moment.
I think so.
Thank you,
guess
a regular
so.
Rob, for illuminating that for us.
And it's mostly because our podcasts have become irregular.
That's probably it. And we're going to try to get back on it. We love congregating here. It's just hard to get the three of us together, but we're working on it. And thank you for your support, irregular Rob.
And we will not skip to that episode. Sorry.
Well,
We have our
it
standards.
could be
We
the
can't
next
do it.
one.
It could be. I really hope it is,
Yeah, who knows?
but
Yeah,
we'll have to wait and see.
We pull that roulette wheel at the end of this podcast. It could very well be that episode. All right. Well, on Instagram, we heard from Janique. Is that how you say your name there?
That's what I would guess.
Yeah.
Bob, why don't you take this one?
She says, I'm so glad I found you guys. I used to watch Walker, Texas Ranger, ironically, with my two brothers when growing up. I haven't thought about the show for at least 20 years until something on Instagram a week ago made me think of the show and had me watching a couple episodes again. I had such a good time with how hysterically bad it is and still so good in all its badness. I was like, I need to know what other people think of this show. I need to hear the episodes be broken down because it's so ridiculous and over the top, especially seen through the eyes of this day and age. Wonder if anyone has a podcast.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah. If you're asking yourself, I wonder if anyone has a podcast, it doesn't matter what the subject is. The second part of that question, the answer is yes. Someone does.
Ingrown Toenail Podcast.
But she did make a plea at the end. Says, please don't quit before you've done them all. We can't commit to that either. We're going to try it. It might take us 10 years, but you never know.
Yeah, we're not going to stop. We also heard from frequent contact supporter Jeffrey Hartman, and he says, Dear Tariff Brothers.
Oh.
I guess, yeah, he's in Canada, so unfortunately the United States is giving some tough love to him up there in his country, but looks like he got out of Canada, and he says, I was in Portugal this week and happened upon Walker. The best part, it was entirely in German. What an incredible development. Nitro is the network there. Shout out to Jeffrey and, Portugal, apparently, Walker, Texas Ranger fans. Well, moving on, not to be outdone, the real Chuck Norris dropped a photo of himself with a shotgun up on Instagram. And you want to tackle this comment from Chuck?
Well, it appears to be a screenshot, maybe of a later to be video, but Chuck Norris with some form of shotgun, and he says, nothing like a day out on the range. It's important to find outlets that help us cope with life's stresses and challenges. I'm grateful for the peace and focus it brings.
God bless Chuck Norris.
Some of my neighbors were out there shooting yesterday, so.
Well, I'm glad they're relaxed.
They must have seen this post.
Must have got some inspiration. You also miss he's got the sidearm there too.
Oh,
yeah, he's got the belt clip,
Got two
just
guns.
in case. In case someone attacks you while you're doing target practice with your shotgun.
Yeah.
You got your firearm as well. Yep.
A subtle message to my fans not to come on my property.
It's like, that might relax you, but it does not relax your neighbors.
Well, you don't know. I mean, dude, honestly, if I live next door to Chuck Norris, I'd feel protected. All right, well, moving on to Twitter here, I posed the question.
You actually, we are going to talk about this dog food?
Yes, that's why I said, no, let's not get into it. We're getting into it now.
Jeez,
I posted up on Twitter, which celebrity dog food do you use? Chuck Norris's Lone Wolf Ranch with his secret quote-unquote power foods, or Burt Ward's Robin of the Batman TV show, Gentle Giant brand that claims to extend your dog's life. And we heard back from somebody here. Evan, you want to take this?
Broken Heart Diamond Wings says, all of my dogs have been eating at Gentle Giant's RSQ dog food their entire life. Tomorrow, one of my babies will turn 12. She's a boxer shepherd, about 85 pounds. Most dogs her size don't live this long. I hope Burt Ward's dog food will give my big girl another 10 or 15 years.
Be asking a bit much.
Man, whoa. We have an image of the boxer shepherd mix, always by my side, my birthday girl.
Very cute dog and looks very young. I think that, Burt Ward's celebrity dog food, we've got one person talking about it. Anybody who's used Chuck Norris's dog food, we haven't heard from yet. So it's 1-0. Anyway, we have no idea what's going on, but just thought I thought that was crazy. We actually heard back on that. Had to give a shout out to Broken Heart Diamond Wings. Thank you for the feedback on celebrity dog food. Well, yeah, let's get into some of the fallout from our previous podcasts. Tall Cotton that we did a few ago. We heard from patron Zora. What'd she say?
Watching this episode for the podcast proper, and not 3 minutes in, got the AI description, 2 men are fighting in front of a large shark. Oh, this is going to be a good one. Yeah.
Classic. So I guess we got our answer on what the AI descriptors are.
I mean, it's accurate.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty sick.
And I like how they don't leave out the shark. That's an important part. There is a shark in that scene.
It was absurd. It was absurd. Let's talk about the trial of LaRue fallout. We also heard from Zora on Patreon. Perfect way to start the weekend. And what we have here in this episode, well, the antagonist is forcing a man and woman to kiss in front of their daughter, followed by his own more effective Jeb Bush moment. I better start hearing some claps or I'm going to start taking some people out. Also, we've got Walker on a dirt bike. Unbelievable. Well, we want to thank everybody out there who's supported the cast. We had a number of people pick up some action figures. Robert Benson in Iowa picked up an action figure. We shipped off an action figure to the UK, and we shipped one off to Daniel in Germany, and he gave us a nice review. He said, great item and received very quickly from US to UK. Last piece of the puzzle to complete my Karate Commandos collection. Many thanks to a top seller. So probably not a listener of the podcast, but
I would say no.
But
That's
I
a
think
Karate
it's
Commando super fan.
that blows my mind right there.
But did you stick a Roundhouse Roulette sticker in there?
Oh, I always do. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Future listener.
Shout out to Daniel there.
there was no fallout from Smooth.
Oh,
I don't think we properly let people know about that because I actually listened to the episode and I didn't know what was awaiting at the very end.
It's at the end of the podcast.
Yeah, it's at the very end.
it is. And we do talk about we were going to do it in that podcast.
It's a very hard listen.
It really is. It's rough.
It's on SoundCloud. We
It
have
is,
it
okay.
on SoundCloud. Yeah, and we haven't shared
Who's
it around.
SoundCloud?
It's on the Roundhouse Roulette SoundCloud. Oh, I'm just saying, when The Eyes of a Child is on there, and
really?
all the
Oh.
other ones we've done.
Damn, I'm hopping on there right now.
So, Roundhouse Nation, call to action. We're going to be posting up videos of Evan performing Carlos Santana and Rob Thomas's Smooth. We need you to tag them and in the comments and just bring it to their attention that Evan's rocking Santana shoes and no man can tame Santana.
I'm the fourth follower of our SoundCloud account, by the way.
Who
Okay.
else is?
I don't know, 3 other people. But I tell you, there's some content on there.
Roundhouse Nation, our follower count on Instagram is really sad. If you want to help us out there, that could really help other people find the cast and whatnot. And also apparently SoundCloud, which, we 4 followers on that.
And one of them is me.
Wow.
So-
Okay.
Way to be, Bob. Thank you.
I'm doing my part, guys.
Thank you for your service. All right. Well, that's about it for this ridiculous mailbag, particularly for the patrons. Yeah, that's a tease if there ever was one, right? When we come back, we're going to get right on back into this sweet old episode, The Committee. And welcome back. This episode originally aired March 12th, 1994. And it opens up on, this is like a Law and Order Criminal Intent deal where you're not seeing the detectives here, you're seeing the criminals. This is a dark conference room.
It was.
I don't know. Who would you say is the most important person in that room?
I'd say the most important person is the person with the Casio keyboard that's just going. There
was like the ominous going on throughout the scene. You could have turned the lights on for this conference room, but they decided to keep it dark. And then they have like dossiers and they're opening it up and it's like this person that has like the guy's name written on it or whatever. And they're just like, yeah, I'm not going to read all this.
Everyone's got like little folders. And just like, I don't know, they're what, like maybe 6 to 8 people sitting around a conference table in the dark. And they're all like, okay, our next case up is Kurt Woodley. And this guy starts reading off. He's like, yeah, he's got a rap sheet, and he was found doing all this bad stuff, but it was a bust that wasn't by the books. And so he got off on a technicality. And then we see a cut to our first glimpse of the chairman. And I'm going to say this chairman gives the OG chairman of the podcast a bit of a run for his money, huh?
Yeah, it looks like a Darth Vader kind of vibes. It was like it looks like a Star Wars kind of droid.
Yeah, for me, it's sort of like a talking lava lamp. It's
and it's at the head of the table, and it's like this
Amazon Echo.
It is like a demonic Amazon Echo, man.
Yeah, I guess it's got a speaker on top of it with like a ring of a blue neon light around it.
Yeah.
And this altered voice comes out of it. It's like, you've all had time to review the case. Live or die.
Exactly. And it's like, wait. So, like, your speakerphone is the head of this meeting? What?
Look, man, 1994 Skype, he doesn't play around.
So, yeah, like, pretty much he's like, all right, now it's time to hold a vote on if we're going to kill this guy or not. And, like, everyone's, like, going around the table, and they show, like, close-ups of him, and they're like, die.
And only one person, this woman at the table whom we later learn more about, but she says live, but everyone else says die.
Yeah. And then the robot's kind of like, he's kind of like, well, that's settled. I guess we will kill him.
Majority rules.
Majority rules.
He was using that exact device.
Dude, I bought a bunch of these things to sell on the Recording Supply website. They're like voice changers, and I've not sold one of these stupid things. So this episode came on, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm cracking the pack on this.
Now you won't be able to keep them in stock. They're going to be flying off the shelves. Get your weird voice thing at NashvilleRecordingSupply.com.
What other voices does it do?
That's the best sounding one. Everything else sounds like crap. But yeah, if you want to commit a crime, NashvilleRecordingSupply.com.
Yeah, so one guy at the table, he closes the thing and he's like, see you later, slime bag. And we don't have to wait till later because we get to see the sleaze bag at a strip joint where he's not satisfied with the product and tries to take his money back before leaving.
Yeah, you put a some cash into the stripper strap, and then you go back for it. This guy's a bad seed.
Look, man, the economy's rough. So he goes to leave, and we see the guy from the committee. He comes out, and he's like, "Oh, can I get a light?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." And then he just shoots him, and he says, "You shouldn't smoke. It's bad for your health."
Unbelievable. And then we cut to the original Walker Texas Ranger theme. We haven't been back this early in the series for so long. It was kind of refreshing, actually, to see it before it became so extremely campy. I mean, granted, we are talking about a talking robot, but still.
Yeah, I mean, these early episodes are really like, they fit a ton in. They really do treat them like action movies from start to finish. So, like, that's why we don't get this weird montage at the front, or like sort of like a teaser at the beginning with like Walker and Trevette doing some side quest somewhere that is never referred to after. Like, they have to fit the entire plot in. They're like, okay, this is gonna be tight. The editors really had to work hard on this one, I think, as will the editor for this podcast. But yeah, no, I totally agree. Very refreshing. And not only that, we also know it's an early episode because we see Walker and Trevette like actually trying to do detective work.
Yeah.
It was odd.
Like, man, this is like sort of like a pattern, some sort of vigilante here. They seem to be taking out people with rap sheets. And so they go to mull over the details at CD's. And, CD remembers Woodley, of course, because, CD was involved with every bad guy.
He was a hard worker.
Like old school CDs, too, right? Like They go in and they're acting more like patrons than they were like fixtures on the wall, right?
Is the set different in this one too? I don't know if it's just maybe the angles are different, but it seems like a different room.
It's either different or they're like at a different end of the bar.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe that's what it
it
is.
almost feels like CD's bar was filmed in the original bar. 'Cause
Maybe.
they actually, you can see outside.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it might actually be where I am right now, the White Elephant Bar in Fort Worth.
All right. So, while they're talking over the case, Alex comes in and she reminds Walker of dinner plans, which she seems to have forgotten.
He acts like he'd never heard it before. Like, what? You were going to have me over to dinner tonight? Or there was almost like a non-reaction to that.
Well, yeah, that's a Walker reaction, a non-reaction. But Trevette and CD, they're like, oh, let's inform you of the rules of dating.
Whoa. Alex is having you over for dinner tonight, Walker? Whoa. You know, that was like the thing. And he was just like, this does not compute.
He's pretty adamant that she never told him. CD and Trevette are trying to give him some tips, Dress nice, not too nice. Bring flowers. Bring your appetite.
What is CD says something like, you don't know nothing about womans.
Yeah.
and he says some folksy thing like that.
He's like, you got to bring flowers. $12 do you nice there.
Yeah. You can get a whole bunch of flowers.
Anyways, Walker does take the advice, which is saying a lot. That, again, must be an early episode because he's taking advice from other people. But he does dress up. He brings flowers.
So we see like behind him waiting at the door for Alex at her apartment. And is he wearing like a purple zoot suit?
Oh,
What is
it
he?
looks real nice.
Dude, the purple suit comes back.
Yeah.
Fear not.
But
Fear
that's
not.
what he's wearing, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he's holding a bouquet of flowers. And Alex, she opens the door. He goes in and...
She's impressed. She's like, wow, you look nice. And you smell nice, too.
Meow, chicka, wow, wow.
Oh, just so you know, here's another guy here.
Yeah, by the way, that's some random dude there,
Right.
too, with the most blue eyes I've ever seen in my life. They're like popped off the TV screen.
You got lost in him?
Yes.
He wanted to reach out and touch you. His name is Grant Wallace, and he's an old friend from law school.
That doesn't
He
bode
also-
well for him.
Yeah,
I
it's
know.
like, oh, yeah, my old friend was already in my apartment when you showed up, Walker. That's great.
Yeah, if this were season 6, there'd be a little bit of sexual tension between her and Grant, and he'd end up dead. But a spoiler alert, we basically never see this guy again.
Right. So Walker's like, oh, yeah, CD wanted me to give you these flowers.
Oh, jeez.
That was a pretty good dismount.
I
I mean,
don't know.
what do you do? What are you going to do?
Yeah,
Right?
you got to
You say-
double down.
Yeah, you say, hey, you were going to cook me dinner. Least thing I could do is bring you these flowers.
Then fight that guy.
This is Chuck Norris here. That guy was a dweeb.
So maybe I wasn't paying attention, but I was like, was this a setup? Did she like spring this like, oh, you remember we were going to have dinner tonight? And he's like, she just made that up just to get him to come over to meet this guy?
No. So this may be season 1, but Walker is still always right. And so he was right. There were no dinner plans, and this was her attempt to get Walker over anonymously so that they could have a sort of secret meeting with this guy from the Justice Department.
Keep CD and Trevette out of the loop.
Yeah.
And what was it? What was she saying she was going to make? It was like prime rib or something like that?
It was going to be a rack of lamb.
Rack of lamb. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And he shows up there. There's no lamb.
She's like, I could give you a turkey sandwich or something. He's like, no, I ate a big lunch.
And he didn't because CD at the bar, like Walker was going to eat some peanuts. And they're like, hell no, you're not going to spoil your dinner when you're going to go over there and have a rack of lamb. Not on my watch, boy.
Anyways, this dude's from the Justice Department, and he's responding to this obvious vigilante that's been going out there. And this guy seems to think, he doesn't give any evidence for this, but he seems to think that it's a group of people, not just one person.
Well, that cuts down on having to get into that. So
Yeah, and he wants Walker to infiltrate the group. And so, Walker's like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. And then Alex is like, thank you so much, and sorry about dinner. I'll make it up to you. And he looks over and he's like, really? And gives her like these double like eyebrow raise.
yeah, as if like the dessert is still on the table.
So, and he's like, just kidding.
But I did show up with flowers in this suit and cologne. But yeah, just kidding.
This is awkward.
Just get me back into some dangerous situation where I feel more comfortable.
Yeah. The next day, Walker and Trevette are cruising around. Trevette's like, I can't know the deets, man. How was the rack of lamb? We talking medium rare, succulent? Give me something here. I'm alone here. And Walker's like, oh, whatever. And then a squawk comes across the squawk box. We're like, suspect, armed, he's chased down this way. And Walker's like, oh, I'll be right there. So they go chase down this guy. And I was expecting a car chase, but maybe a 5-second car chase.
Yeah, I don't know if that makes the official cut.
Yeah, I was like, oh, a chase, but it was a chase, but it was super short.
We don't call them car chases. We call them chases. And this was definitely a chase, but it was a foot race.
Yeah, what happened?
He kind of dumps the car in front of, I guess, a mall, because he immediately starts running, and then the foot chase ensues, and he goes through a mall, goes up an escalator. A lot of just nothing on this.
And
one.
we should say that this guy is an African-American man.
Yes. They somehow, at one point, Walker gets him outside. He chases him outside and holds him up. And this is where things get a little weird. And I was starting to wonder if I was watching the right show or what the hell's going on. I was like...
I think this show is called 2025. But basically, he throws down a side piece at the guy's feet, which Trevette saw Walker put and at the back of his pants.
He's like, you need an extra gun, Walker? For what? He's like, you never know when you're going to need it, Trevette.
Yeah. In this case, Walker needs it to put a shadow of doubt into maybe a bit of investigative processes here, and that he throws his extra sidearm down at the foot of this runaway fugitive and then tells him to pick it up, but the guy doesn't want to pick it up.
He knows the moment he picks him up, he's just going to get shot by Walker because he's like, oh, you've got a gun,
Trevette comes out at this point, and he's like, oh, Walker, what's going on? And Walker then just shoots the guy. And it's pretty awkward. It's pretty weird.
Definitely wouldn't have done this scene in today's political climate. We're like, yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah. What is going on? And I don't know if you guys already had figured it out. I was still like, wait, what?
I had a suspicion, but then that scene ends by Walker just going back inside.
Yeah, he just walks away. It's like, dude, aren't you supposed to write a report or something? At least, I don't know.
Right. And the guy the guy gets shot and then is writhing on the ground and then dies, right? But, surprise, surprise, we learned that this guy is not actually dead. And the awkward tension between Walker and Trevette is alleviated at this hospital.
In the worst way possible. Yeah. First of all, Walker lets this hang. Presumably, if you're his partner, I'd kill, excuse me for the F-bomb,
right,
but... But yeah. It's deserved. I would kick Walker's ass for this.
What the hell did you just do?
Jeez.
Yeah. And then, some marshal comes in with the guy that Walker presumably pretended to kill.
Before that, though, I think it's worth mentioning how Trevette finds out. So Trevette is grilling Walker what are you doing, man? I stand up for you. I see you're the best cop ever, and you just kill this guy?
Right.
And how do you do that? And he's like this, and he pulls out his gun and shoots Trevette. And Trevette just goes, oh, it was a blank.
Oh, Walker, that's was so ingenious.
Funny.
Thank you. You're the best partner ever. Oh my gosh. You're a genius. You are a good man.
He's a trickster. Yeah. He's a trickster that one.
Absolutely. Yeah, very much so. And then this marshal comes in and he's like, he hears the gunshot. The marshal comes in. He's like, oh, I assume you guys have figured out what's going on. So yeah, this guy here, he's still alive. And, we carved a little bit off your sentence, but we gotta change your name and put you in a new system or whatever. So this was their great plan, was to take a criminal, right, and then release him in a mall with the understanding that he's going to pretend to be killed.
Yeah, fake his own death.
Right. Why wouldn't the criminal just run away and keep going?
No, because he was in on the whole thing. They had the deal worked out where obviously he was going to fake that he died, and they had to make a big scene of it so that it would be in the newspapers enough so that the committee would see it and be like, oh, well, this guy Walker... He takes justice into his own hand too,
Yeah.
Well, sure, but
don't say why. Don't say why.
Tell me why.
Yeah, but also, like, I don't know, he guns the guy down, but there's, like, no one around. It's just an alley. Like, who's even seeing that?
Well, Trevette was his witness.
And the EMTs and everyone had to be in on it. Like, there had to have been a lot of people in on it.
Yeah, there's like a...
This guy's dead. He doesn't even have a bullet hole in him.
Right. This is a really... There's a much larger net here.
Yeah, and if the EMTs were in on it and all this stuff, why not clue in your partner?
Right, and how do they know that it's not one of the EMTs that's on the committee? Or one of the people on the tribunal? Or Trevette? Who, like... Anyways, very confusing, but it doesn't matter because this basically is exactly what is needed to get the committee to act. So Trevette has to basically testify and in front of this tribunal, and they make up a phony rap sheet for Walker for his, past discretions. And while the tribunal is reading it, they artistically show the committee reading it as well as they're assessing whether they want to bring Walker into the committee. And Walker's basically kicked off the force.
Right. And Trevette has to testify, do a fake testimony during this whole proceeding. And Walker just acts cool as a cucumber, like, I don't care.
And then the talking speaker thing around the table is like, how do you vote? But basically Walker's like, kicked off the force or whatever. And so now he decides to become ex-Texas Ranger badass version of Walker, which is basically like Miami Vice, put on your giant high-waisted pants, black t-shirt and blazer, and go shoot some billiards at the local bar.
How did the vote go? They were like, how do you vote? And then everyone was like...
This is to bring in Walker, right?
Yeah, to bring in
Walker.
Yeah,
it was 100% yes.
Unanimous. So he's shooting billiards or whatever, and this woman from the committee comes up, and she's like, hey, we really like your style. We're going to have an emergency meeting here, and we want to learn more about you. If you're curious about justice, come check this out. And then she just leaves, and immediately, like before she's probably even left the room, CD comes down from the bar because he just can't help himself, and he's like, "Wow, did you get her number?" And he's like, "Oh, I got way more than that."
Yeah, but even CD now is in on it. Like, so CD knew that the whole thing was a big ruse.
Yeah, of course.
And Trevette didn't get the heads up.
Well, he has the heads up now.
Yeah, they both know now.
Now, this is where this is very different from like season 7 or 8. Walker would do the whole episode and Trevette would have no clue. So, like, granted, he told Trevette by like pretending to shoot him and it looks bad, but that honestly is better than like season 8, where Trevette would have spent the entire episode thinking that Walker is like off the rails. In fact, I feel like we've reviewed an episode where that's happened, right? Like somehow they've lost trust with each other over the time they've worked together. So basically Walker shows up to this warehouse or whatever, and he parks his truck, and there's like, everyone's car is there, even the motorcycle of this highway patrol guy, right? So all these cars are at this rando building, and Walker just like goes in, and then these lights come on, and the chairman is there on like a table, right? The table lamp, the neon table lamp, and it's like, sit down. We have questions for you. Sit down. We have questions for you. And so he sits down, right? And they're like, just so you know, you'll soon learn, everyone on the committee, there's no turning back. And Walker's like, okay.
Yep.
And then the lights come on, and everyone just
walks out.
Yeah, it's like he didn't even say, "Yeah, I'm in." It's like, all right, well, I guess that's either my death sentence or I'm in. So
right, and everyone comes out, and they're like, "Oh, this is Sally Jenkins. She's a so and so. This is Bill blah blah blah. He's a blah blah blah." And you're like, "Why are you telling him this? Like, it couldn't hurt to have some level of anonymity around the table. You don't have to know who everyone is and whatever."
If everybody knows everybody's identity, then the stakes are high.
Right. And they're like, well, we like you. We voted you in. And we're going to have another meeting in like 5 days. We'll let you know how it goes. And again, it's like, couldn't you have done your due diligence before this? Like, did you all have to walk out and introduce yourselves? Probably not.
I loved that, like, Walker just shows up to this warehouse, and then it's like totally dark. He's going around, and then the lights come up, and it's that stupid voice box that looks like Darth Vader's helmet. It's like, hey, what's up? You know, it's like, it's just like almost random thing. It's like, what the hell?
Dude, that's just a Tuesday in Dallas, man. So Walker has to kill time. He's got 5 days, so he's just riding horses around on the farm. We get to see Uncle Ray, played by Floyd Red Crow Westerman. Talk about rock albums there, right?
Yeah, check out his Johnny Cash covers album.
Oh,
Top notch. He sounds just like Johnny Cash.
Yeah. It was fun seeing him. I forgot. He was great, but far too little of him. But Walker sees like a surveillance van or like an electrician van down the road, and he's like, oh, are there any, you have any problems with electricity or the phone? Uncle Ray's like, nope. So Walker knows. He knows the game's on. These guys are surveilling stuff. So Alex tries calling, and then he's like all abrasive with her on the phone. And she's like, yeah, now we know what's up.
Yeah, she was in her office with her old friend, and he's like, what's up? She's like, I think he might think that his phone's tapped, so he's playing it safe.
Or he's just really upset about being set up on that date.
Yeah, he really wanted that rack of lamb.
So then Walker, he makes contact with Trevette at the diner, and also has to, like, he's dropping off information as to who's on the committee, but then he has to have like a fake fight in the alleyway, and you see these guys in the surveillance van, and they're looking at you like, pretty good.
The two most waspy looking guys in the world, right?
Yeah.
They look like aged bankers. In suits with binoculars. Like, he's bad. He's even beating up his old partner.
Yeah, he's off the rails. He seems good. Yeah.
And while he's fake fighting, he tells Trevette, hey, I left the name of everybody on the committee on a piece of paper underneath the counter where I was seating. And so Trevette, after the fight, goes back in. He sits down and he goes to the chef, hey, he paid for this, right? And of course, Walker didn't even pay for his meal. He stuck Trevette with the bill. Classic.
Yeah.
Some things never change.
Exactly. He reaches under the table, grabs a piece of paper with the name of everyone on the committee. We're off to the races here.
Oh, yeah. So then his day's not over yet. He got breakfast at the diner, and now he's going to go meet one of the women from the committee.
The one who was kind of like said not to kill somebody at the very beginning of the episode.
Mm-hmm. And with his sweet ranger perception skills, he knew from just meeting her the other day that she had some reservations. And so he meets her at her trial, and he takes her out to lunch.
Because she's a prosecutor. She was a prosecutor. No, she was a
public defender.
Defender, yeah.
Right. And he's like, well, how do you square that if you're supposed to defend anybody? She's like, well, I defend some bad people. Man, that's kind of crazy. Your defense attorney sending out the hit squad after you?
For sure, man. And he gets her to spill her guts over lunch, which is
a single hot dog for him, I think, right?
pretty dope date.
He goes, I'll take you out to lunch. She's like, oh, okay. And then it flashes to the next scene, and they're in front of a hot dog truck. And she says something like, oh, you must do this for all the ladies, or something like that, right?
It's like, only the special ones.
Classic.
I mean, sick date. But anyways, yeah, he gets the truth from her, and obviously she has some reservations. So next Walker meets Trevette, and they've got a sweet rendezvous or whatever at the movie theater where there's an earpiece and some popcorn, and so Trevette is able to talk to him. But Trevette's all like, "No, man, this is the best part of the movie. Bruce Willis actually gets his butt kicked." And this is in like 1994, so like Bruce Willis, peak action star, right? And so they had to write in like, Bruce Willis lesser than Chuck Norris, right? That's what this is.
Oh, it's also a nod to Trevette being in Die Hard, to Clarence Gilliard being in Die Hard as well.
Also true. I didn't actually think about that.
That's what I got.
Absolutely true.
And someone on IMDb said that they were playing the audio from Die Hard in it, but I didn't go back to listen. So it might have been literally dialogue from Die Hard.
Okay, so he has this rendezvous with Trevette at the movie theater. Then he gets back to his car, and there's a note that says "emergency meeting," and so, they get to go there, which is pretty wild. At the emergency meeting, they open up their dossiers, and it's the public defender's face in there, and they're like,
"We know that she's been having second thoughts about the committee, and as you know, if one person talks, we all go. So I propose, live or die."
And Walker's like, well, this evidence seems pretty light. It's like his first meeting, and he's stirring the pot here. Like,
was it because he was just talking to her, or was it because this is the thing? Like, you guys almost brought this up earlier. The only evidence that she was having second thoughts was that she voted, no, let's not kill this guy. Isn't that the whole point of voting?
No. Walker's like, well, this evidence is pretty light. And the chairman's like, she's been making phone calls. The transcripts will change your mind. But they ask for a vote before anyone even sees the transcripts.
Yeah,
so.
like, no need. I trust you, bro.
right. So of course they vote to die, and it gets around to Walker, and he's like, die, but I want to do it. And you're like, oh, that's how he's going to save her. And they're like, no, we've actually already sent Detective so-and-so. He's going to go take care of it. Well, after they basically vote to kill her, they're like, okay, well, I guess our meeting's done. You guys want to meet at Chili's after, or what are we going to do?
Yeah, and so half off apps.
I know. So they leave us in the middle of the day. They all come out of this warehouse, and their cars are all just parked right out there. They're all in their outfits or whatever. They're all just like, oh yeah, okay, see you next week, I guess. And they all just get in their cars and just drive off. So like, and earlier on, the public defender was like, I don't think we should be seen together. And it's like, that's the correct instinct, but they gonna kill you. It's just kind of bizarre for everyone just to be like, okay, well, see you later. But even more bizarre is the fact that Trevette's just like hanging out around the corner, and like they're all still driving off, and Trevette's like, oh yeah, I was able to get a trace on the phone for the chairman. And Walker's like, okay, go check out that. I'm gonna go save Lisa. And so we see Trevette go to this office building to figure out who the chairman is, right? And he flashes his badge or whatever and gets up there, and it's just like this vacant room, and with like a computer screen and a bunch of gear. Now I'm going to ask the two audio files here, what was actually there?
Well,
a tape deck. I know that.
It was a tape deck. Now, I figured, if I can't find a hit on reverse Google searching the chairman's speakerphone Darth Vader helmet, I can at least try it on the audio gear that was used in this scene. But first, let's say, what was this audio gear doing, Evan?
So Trevette pressed a couple buttons, and from that surmised that basically there was a remote control that actually he calls Walker and tells him as such. I believe the term he uses is that there's some sort of remote controlled actuator that plays a pre-taped recording of various phrases, and it's being controlled by somebody remotely.
So one of the people in the room on the board is actually remote controlling the chairman's voice box from that room, which is being relayed through a tape player or something. So whenever it's like he's hitting a button and it's saying a pre-recorded phrase, essentially.
Which actually, if you are a good detective, you could probably figure that out, because it doesn't have video. So when it came to a vote around the table, and there are people missing from the room, right? And the vote comes around to Walker, whether it's live or die, the chairman says, time is of the essence. We're waiting for your vote, or something like that. And it's like, how would the chairman know it got around to Walker, other than if you were in the room there?
Oh, you assume there's a video feed.
Do you?
No.
Dude, it's 1994, man.
Yeah, this ain't no Zoom. Or even Skype, for that matter.
Well, you're right. I guess that is a tell. But at that time, it was kind of physically impossible to do this in a real way. So I was like, man, what gear do they have here? Just as like a rack of audio gear that we can dig into here. So I reverse Google searched each piece of this system here. Let's dig in. So at the heart of it is the cassette deck, Bob, and this is the exact one. Technic stereo cassette deck RS673.
That's a quality item.
It's got all the switches and levers at the bottom. I mean, it looks very technical.
Yeah, so just a standard high-end cassette player. Then the next thing on top of that is an equalizer.
Makes sense. You gotta have good tone.
But you're not going to be able to make like a voice like that just by EQing. I was looking for something that like would make your voice sound like this.
You were looking for that exact device.
I was hoping. But maybe they're just like, well, throw an equalizer and they could just say, roll off the bass.
What was a top item, though? Was it got tubes in it? Jeez, that's...
The top item is the weirdest one. It's an Akai MIDI sequence arpeggiator.
Maybe that's what made the voice weird.
That could have been, or they're probably thinking that's what would have controlled what gets said.
Records notes or chords via MIDI and plays them back like a step sequencer. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah, the sequencer could be triggering something else, which would be probably the voice. So, yeah, it makes sense. Not much. I mean, it would be impossible, but it's close enough.
All that to say, this stuff would not make what happened in the show happen, but it looks cool on screen.
Yeah.
So Walker's like, wait, so the chairman's just been sitting in the room the whole time? And Trevette's like, yeah, there are no loose ends. And Walker's like, okay, we're going to go kick some butt now. So Lisa gets out of her trial or whatever, and she's going back to her car. And the guy who's been doing all the killings, we're pretty sure, is like, yeah, time's run out for you. And she's like, oh no. And Walker's like, hold up right there. And the guy like starts to shoot at Walker, and everyone gets away. And the guy speeds off in his car like a Cutlass or something.
Yeah, Olds, maybe a Buick.
Chrysler.
Yep.
Or a Buick, yeah. And you're like, okay, this is a vintage car chase. They can beat the hell out of this car because it's basically like a tank on tires.
The chase was great, and there are parts where he was just like veering into guardrails for no reason. Like it wasn't he was out of control or driving fast. It was like he was intentionally hitting things.
Yeah, I was waiting to see if he hit any mailboxes, but he did not.
Me too, for sure.
Yeah. So pretty sweet car chase, right?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, and then then we have, what I have to imagine is, this is an amazing fight. It's on an off ramp. The guy goes to get off the highway and hits a car, and so his car can't move anymore. So he jumps out and tries to run up the berm, and Walker chases after him. Now at this point, Walker is back in his purple suit, total Don Johnson,
looking
like
real good.
Yeah. And so he wrestles the guy. They roll back down the hill, and now this is an off ramp, right? An active off ramp. So there are cars that are like still trying to get off the highway. And they're like, well, there's an accident here, but like I have somewhere to get to. I can't stop for them, so I'm just gonna keep going. Oh, there are people in a fist fight. Oh, someone just got roundhouse kicked onto the hood of my car. Okay, well they bounced off. They're back off it now. I'm just gonna keep going. And so they sort of like traded blows where they're just like kicking each other onto cars, but the cars just kept going. It's just like an off ramp, and I kept thinking like, oh, this is just you just expect this in Texas. Like this is just, there's an accident, someone's having a fist fight, and I'm just going to keep going.
And we have a behind the scenes photo from this very scene that Michael Preece sent us with his photos right here.
Yeah. Yep.
And you can see Michael Preece directing next to I think that's Chuck Norris too, the scene of Chuck kicking the bad guy in the face.
In the purple suit?
The purple suit. So we'll share that up on this episode page too.
So, I mean, there's some sweet roundhouse kicks, and eventually the guy gets roundhouse kicked into the windshield of a car, and that car has to stop. But the guy actually doesn't seem too bent out of shape. Walker looks and he's like, are you okay? And the guy's like, well, that was exciting.
Did you guys notice that Walker actually took a pretty good punch to the face at the beginning of this fight? Like the other guy, he got him good. And I was like, yeah, that's early seasons right there. That wouldn't happen later on.
He dodged that later.
Yeah.
So anyways, after that, we get to see the whole crew of the committee get brought to justice, and kind of in bookends, right? We get this bookend where the jury has to everyone reads out their own verdict, and everyone reads out guilty, and it's sort of like, kind of playing off the episode. Yeah. And then we see Walker stop the public defender, Lisa, before she gets in her car, and he's like, did he even say anything? Just like, I don't even remember, but
yeah, it reminded me of like the end of like the Batman 60s Batman TV shows. Like the Joker would have like a mall, like a hot girl that was like his bad guy assistant, and then they'd always be redeemed by the end of the episode, and Batman would be like, I'm sorry, you're still gonna have to go to jail, but you've got a good heart,
Right.
That's exactly what happened here.
Yeah, it's basically like that. It's like, I know you had your regrets, but then again, you were still on a committee that was a death squad, so we're gonna send you away.
We missed the part when they kind of break in like to the chairman headquarters, and they're all sitting around the table, right?
Yeah, she goes in first to the meeting, and they're all like, "What?
You should be dead. What are you doing here?"
Now, here's the question: why were they having another meeting?
It was Taco Tuesday.
They're like, they you know what? They were probably eating some endless boneless wings at Applebee's, and they were like, you know what? I'm only one beer in, and there's this other guy we've got to vote on. Let's have an emergency vote.
Yeah,
I think we got a quorum here. Let's just go back.
And like then Walker walks in, and he, I don't know what he says, but then Trevette beams in and talks like this guy. You're all going to jail. And it's Trevette controlling it.
Yeah, I think they even recognize his voice. They're like, wait, that's not the chairman.
We don't find out who the chairman is.
The question is, does it matter?
No, it does not.
It doesn't, but I want to know who was behind this. I want to know.
What if it was the woman who hired the hit out on herself? Maybe she was the chairman.
I thought there was going to be a big twist that she was the chairman. I really thought there was.
Not enough time, dude.
There wasn't enough time. In fact, not enough time to even say which one it was. It would have taken like one sentence. Or just showing the control in the guy's hand.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. All brought to justice. And that about sums up this episode. When we come back, it's going to be time for us to each rate the committee on a scale of 0 to 10 boots to the face, resulting in our patented Roundhouse Roulette rating. Patented Roundhouse Roulette episode ranking, complete results of which are available on our website, roundhouseroulette.com. Don't go away.
Man, it's taken us forever to get through all 200 episodes.
I know what you mean. Maybe we should stop delivering the light of Walker, Texas Ranger to the world.
Yeah. Let's put it to a vote once Adam gets here.
Yes, a vote shall be made. Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Who are we killing today?
Well, man, maybe the podcast?
Yeah, we're never going to make it at this rate.
Guys, haven't you heard? Slow and steady wins the race. Roundhouse Nation has our back. They've been sharing the pod with friends, leaving us kind reviews on the internet, and even helping pay our hosting by pitching in on Patreon and picking up vintage Chuck Norris action figures and artifacts on roundhouseroulette.com. We've got this. Well, it's time to vote on Roundhouse Roulette's fate. Live or die. Live!
Die.
But Bob!
Sorry, man.
Die.
Live. The tiebreaker goes to the chairman. Woot woot.
Man.
Saints be praised. You may now proceed with the podcast.
All right, welcome back. What'd you guys think of this beast?
I enjoyed this one. I mean, it wasn't the best, and I don't know if it's just nostalgia for the early seasons.
Right.
But the stats don't really... Yeah, I don't think the stats warrant a good rating, but I like the vibe. What can I say?
Yeah.
And the voice and the R2-D2 or whatever Alexa thing was incredibly cheesy, and I appreciated that. Plus a few curveballs, It kind of fooled me, and I that's not something I usually expect.
Right. Right.
That being said, it was a little light on the actual fighting and explosions. So I'm going to give this one a 6.
Okay.
Solid.
Before we get further, what are the stats for this episode, Evan?
So it's an early season, so the credits only roll to like 6 minutes in. But we had, I would say, one fight with five roundhouse kicks in that fight, which is pretty epic.
Yeah.
Including one into the windshield of a car, which, I mean, come on now. We had a couple chases, one on foot and one by car. 0 explosions, and I wasn't able to make out the name of the strip joint.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what the bar name was there. Yeah, Bob, I'd say that's a pretty solid score. I'm somewhere between a 6 and a 7. Let me think about it. I mean, I dug the vintage vibe, but yeah, it was a little light on action, but it was, for Walker's standards, complex. All right, I'm a 6.5, but I got to round it up, so it's a 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's not super high praise, but it was entertaining and pretty funny. And like roundhouse kick into the windshield of a car at the end, pretty sick.
And, I was kind of a little low on this one because it just didn't feel like there was a lot of meat on the bones to me.
I don't know, Adam. It's had you talking through a voice alterer the entire podcast, so you can't give this one a bad score.
I know.
Yeah, just the fact that it allowed you to use that thing, I think is a point right there. So
Is it a 10?
At least.
10.
Yeah. So I was kind of at a 4 around there, honestly. But it's like, is this? It's more of a Walker. It definitely is a Walker Texas Ranger episode. We see Chuck Norris actually do things. There was the camp factor, so that's at least a 5. And I enjoyed it. So I think you're right. I think the Darth Vader voice box bumps us up to a 6. I'm going to go 6. I'm right there.
And like awkward romance too.
Oh yeah, I like that too. Yeah, I like that CD called out Walker for having no game. I also love that. And Trevette was, both he and Trevette were giving him pointers. So I respect that.
All right. Well, that gives this episode a roundhouse rating of 6.33333333 boost to the face. And again, I think we need to get the prop master on here to talk about what components made up that chairman speakerphone thing. Totally epic. But until then, let us know what you think on social media or by emailing us at roundhouseroulette@gmail.com. When we come on back, we're going to spin that roundhouse roulette wheel and select our next episode. Bob, you ready to spin that wheel?
Here.
Ooh.
Oh no. Season 4, episode 8, The Lynching. Oh God. This one, I think, if I remember correctly, is the Of Mice and Men episode. It's kind of like that, but it also stars our guest, Sam Williamson, who is also in this episode. So
great.
Yeah, so sorry, irregular Rob. we wish we could.
Yeah.
You can tell we don't we live by the wheel, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't get to see Walker's hijinks in a middle school. Instead, we got to deal with this. So,
The Lynching. Walker is summoned to a small town to prevent the lynching of a mentally challenged man accused of murder.
Great. Cool. But yeah, okay. Well, we hope you'll join us next time when we share our reactions to Season 4, Episode 8, The Lynching. In the meantime, share your opinions with us on Facebook and Instagram at Roundhouse Roulette and on Twitter at Roundhouse Pod. And please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Now, if people were creating fake accounts to send us emails, they could easily create fake accounts to give us more reviews on Apple Podcasts, right?
Oh, no doubt. Or followers on Instagram. That's exactly it. Although we don't want fake followers on Instagram. We only want real followers.
But we want fake reviews?
Oh, of course.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
That's how the industry works.
Got it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all for listening, and until next time,
may the eyes of the Ranger be upon you.
When you're in Texas, look behind you. Oh, 'cause that's where the Ranger's gonna be.